response to the first affirmative, terminally ill patients do go through a lot of pain, and there's also a lot of a burden of pain, and for the family, economically and possibly mentally. So in response to the first point, some terminally ill patients cannot endure the pain and suffering. There's evidence supported. So in the article titled "The Art to Assist Suicide," medicine is supposed to alleviate the suffering that a patient undergoes, yet the only thing that medical technology does for a dying patient is give that patient more pain and agony day after day. The cost of medication is also very expensive. It can range from to $55,000 according to the cost of keeping a terminally ill alive article. This article states that according to Dartmouth's Dr. Elliot Fisher, by law, Medicare cannot reject any treatment based upon cost. It will pay $55,000 for patients with advanced breast cancer to receive the chemotherapy drug Avastin. So it's very expensive to even keep these people alive. And there's also places, sometimes people say they can put them in those hospice where they can take care of them, but that wouldn't be necessarily a good life for them to continue living. To the second point, doctors are tried as murderers, and so there was a case where a doctor named so his name was Jack Kevorkian. He was a person who assisted someone with medical conditions by ending their life, and he was sent to jail for 8 years for that. So Oregon's Die with Dignity Act ensures that physicians-assisted suicide is always the patient's choice. People, if they go through physician-assisted suicide, they have the choice of backing down. It's voluntary. They're not forced to take it after they've been prescribed, so they can easily change their mind. And there's also regulations that only permit a certain type of terminally ill patients to take this medication. They have to have 6 months of life left and no cure. So it's all voluntary. The patient isn't forced, like I said. So according to an article by the New York Times titled "Oregon Shows That Assisted Suicide Can Work Sensibly and Fairly," this says that the safeguards also ensure that patients are making a voluntary and informed decision. A physician must educate the patient about all options, including palliative care, pain management, and hospice, so just generally giving them information of other options they have. And if they choose not to take those options, they can take this medication. To go on, it also says that the patient must take 3 separate requests, 2 oral and 1 written. The oral request must be separated by at least 15 days, and the written request must be independently witnessed by 2 people. The patient can rescind these requests at any time. Finally, to further ensure that the patients remain in full control of the process, they must administer medication themselves. So they're given it's a pretty long process to make sure that these patients are sure about their decision. And and there are some diseases that aren't, so they have to be in the right state of mind, and they have to make sure that they can make a good choice. So, for example, Alzheimer's, those people that already are in a very, their Alzheimer's is already too severe, they're likely not to be allowed to have this physician-assisted suicide because they're no longer in a state of mind. But when they're in the early stages and they're able to remember things still and they're just starting, it's nearly possible for them to make theirs, where they have the choice of getting physician-assisted suicide.